Hey guys, welcome to a mock environmental club presentation for today. Today we're going to look at environmental injustice and North Carolina's role in the history of it. So let's jump right in. What is environmental injustice? I'm going to read this definition word for word because I think it's a really good summation of what environmental injustice is. Environmental injustice is the disproportionate exposure of communities of color and the poor to pollution, and it's concomitant. That just kind of means like its whole holistic sum of effects on health and the environment, as well as the unequal environmental protection and environmental equality provided through laws, regulations, government programs, enforcement, and policies. So, what's NC's role in this? Um, in September 1982, 6,000 dump trucks full of PCB laced. PCB is just a chemical which stays in the environment for a very long time. For those of you that have read Silent Spring, think of DDT. It stays in for a very long time and is harmful to consume and can leach into people's water supplies. So you don't want that anywhere near you. This PCB laced soil began making its way into poor, rural, and largely African American Warren County. Um, and this was decided by the state government. They said, we want to dump all this soil in a new hazardous waste landfill in Afron. This was not like a coincidence. This was planned and systematically done. Where is Warren County, you ask? It's up here near the Virginia border. So here we see the trucks coming to it. So what's the resistance? What is this environmental justice movement? So the citizens there, they recognized that this PCB could leak into their drinking supply. Spoiler alert, it did actually do so, and they're a little frightened. And the people took action. The people did lay down on the roads to the landfill. They commenced marches and partook in other nonviolent forms of protest. Greater than 500 people were arrested, and the protesters did unfortunately lose their battle. They don't. Um, and one of the reasons, many reasons, the state decided to go to Warren County was they knew that these poor African American people, they would not have the resources to get the correct lawyers and be able to put up a fight that would actually win against state lawyers. They wouldn't have the resources to be able to rightfully go to court and win a case that they had every right to win. Instead, they were stuck in the lack of resources, and their protests, while very significant, appeared to be, at least for a time. So here's some pictures. So you can see the people laying down on the roads. You see they even had a rally. And one thing I want to point out is even though they're in black and white, this is 1982. Most of our parents were, in college, high school. They're just as young adults. This isn't long ago. And it's still happening today. Um, however, the predecessors of this movement, it didn't necessarily all start in Warren County, but San Joaquin Valley's Latino farmers, Houston's African American students, and West Harlem's residents, they all had faced some form of environmental injustice. But Warren County really was the first time that they got the national attention. Much of those other victims of environmental injustice were stuck in a time of Vietnam and the civil rights movement, and they were kind of glossed over in the whole national scheme. But here, they got the full attention of the nation. And veterans of the civil rights movement, such as Reverend Ben Chavez, were leaders in this movement. And what came of it? Walter Fonter led a Congress General Accounting Office study, and it showed that the number one and it showed that majority of hazardous waste sites were located near poor citizens and minorities. What we've been talking about with environmental injustice. And later on, it's been determined that the number one factor in finding where a hazardous waste site is race. What the color of your skin is. That's unacceptable. Truthfully, it's an awful thing to see. And while we as a nation are doing a little better, we're still seeing this today. We had the Duke Energy coal ash spill. We're still seeing victims of environmental injustice day in, day out, and that's only going to continue as the harmful effects of climate change wage on. Today, grassroots movements like Louisiana Avatar, who are seeking to protect low-income farmers in the area from pollution from pesticides and herbicides, they're all seeking to prevent environmental racism and injustice in today's society.